Nick Hope, I'm Brian Fenley. Bruno, offensive lineman for UCLA, joining us on the Bruin Insider Show. Bruno, thanks so much for being a part of this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It is Halloween. What's got this offensive line so scary good?
Effort, size, want to. Yeah, 100%. That's what we do. We want to get in there. We want to finish blocks. We want to protect our quarterback. That's our identity.
For this offensive line, obviously you guys have had to integrate some new pieces, yourself being one of them, with some guys departing, playing in the NFL. How have you seen this unit come together throughout the offseason, fall camp, bit of the season? I'm fascinated with offensive line stuff just because more than any other group, you guys got to be as one. You can do your job, but if someone else doesn't, it doesn't matter. So how have you seen everybody kind of come together this year?
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. We're very unique in all sports, really, in that kind of sense. I see it growing week by week. The first few weeks there's always going to be some trouble, some communication, some people not being on the same page. But week by week, I think we've been growing, and as we spend more time together, as we hang out, we get together off the field and on the field, I think we're really getting to know each other and getting to work with each other a lot better. And even the nonverbal communication, the looks, the glances, yeah, I got this. Those things are coming together.
As far as the bonding that you as an offensive line do off the field, and as you said, that helps a lot with what happens on the field. What are you all doing? I saw you guys spending some time on the beach as an offensive line group. What else are you doing in order to sort of improve that chemistry that then will show itself on the football field?
Yeah, so I can speak for me and Garrett. We live in the same apartment, and we like to cook a lot. We're both Italian. We're big Italian dudes. Came from Italian families. We like to cook and do that kind of thing. And then Taka, Noah, Josh, Duke, Spence, they'll come over, and we'll all eat together, hang out, watch a movie or something. So, yeah, that's a huge thing for us.
Well, the offensive line, any team, I think, is famous for being the most fun group on the team. Who is kind of the guy who brings the levity and the fun? Maybe things have been tough or practice was tough, but who do you guys look to for that levity to keep things and the vibes up?
Yeah, I can tell you last year, I don't know, someone might have told you this, but Neo Mafi was that guy 100%. Yeah. He was hilarious. Love that dude. This year, I'd say it's probably Taka and Noah. They're always bringing good vibes, good energy, just solid dudes. And, they're coming over to people's apartments. They're walking through the meeting room. Definitely those guys, lightening the mood all the time.
I would think on the defensive side, Jay Toia would be a guy that lightens the mood. And to see him on the offensive line – going out and trying to catch a pass last weekend against Colorado. From your standpoint as an offensive lineman, what was that thrill ride like for you in witnessing that and him being on that side of the ball?
Yeah, that was exciting. When he came over in the walkthrough, everyone was cheering for him, oh, yay! And then in practice when he'd run over from the defensive field, dead tired because he just finished a rack, we're all cheering and stuff just because you love seeing guys come over and do fun stuff like that. But, on the field, when we saw him running out, we were all cheering and stuff, and he looked over and be like, yeah, I get this. This is what I'm doing, right? I'm like, yeah, I got you. You got this. You're going to block that guy. You're good. No worries. Yeah, so it was fun. It was cool.
How's the seafood diet going?
Oh, man. It's tough in season, but keeping it going. Definitely on the same diet. Yeah, for sure.
You said it's tough. Is it hard just because of all the calories that you're burning to sustain that weight? What are the challenges of doing that, considering all the work that you're putting in and then trying to conserve the weight that you've reached? Because, as mentioned, you came into the program, if I'm not mistaken, 240, and now you're 3 bills.
Yeah. So I would say, honestly, it comes down to the time. I'm here in the morning. You got to get your meal in, and then after practice, you got to get your meal in before you go to class, and then between class and meetings, I want to eat again. Then after meetings, I want to eat again, and then before I go to bed, I want to eat again too. So you got class, you got practice, you got meetings, you got cooking food, you got finding food. It all just shrinks your time. And you got to be very efficient with what you're doing. So never doing one thing at a time.
I've always wondered about, because The Rock obviously eats a ton of food. How do you have the time to just pound 5 pounds of chicken in a day?
That's a great question. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
Yeah. So you've made the improvements with the diet, but now on the field, you went from a guy, you played a few games the last few years. Now you're the guy at left tackle. What's that been like taking over that role this season?
It's a learning curve just like all things. I'm satisfied with the way I've been trending. I think I've been trending better each week, becoming more reliable and more solid. But I'm just really thankful to have the opportunity and, having a good time.
We're thankful to have you here on the Bruin Insider Show. For Nick Hope, I'm Brian Fenley. UCLA offensive lineman Bruno Fina joins us. So what has been well chronicled is your father's adoration for the sport and what he was able to do, NFL and beyond. He obviously has had an indelible mark on you and your journey in football. But, and I'm sure a lot of you two see the game in a certain way. You have what you think is parallel. Your perspective aligns with his. But where do you see the game differently than your father?
Where do I see it differently in terms of our understanding?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's got just a ton more experience than I do. He's played in, I don't even know how many games. I don't know how many snaps. But I think a huge thing with the offensive line is experience is everything. Like when I was a freshman and I first started playing tackle and my coach told me I need to see the corner cat blitz or the nickel edge, I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. And then in the past 3 or 4 games, it's been like the easiest thing for me. I look over at that nickel and he's staring straight at me. I'm like, oh, easy, no problem. Yeah. So I think with experience, and then like you see how this guy in stances, his weight is shifted or he's looking in a certain way. It just experience, you come to notice the little things. And I think that comes with every offensive lineman. I don't think it's unique to anybody.
Your dad having gone to Arizona, and not just that, in their Hall of Fame as well, is he going to be wearing some UCLA gear?
Oh, yeah,
this
100%.
weekend?
Yeah,
all right, good,
it's not a house divided.
All right, good.
No, not at all.
Even though his allegiances as a player were at Arizona, the experience of being so familiar with that program, what can he tell you just to sort of apprise you on what's to come this weekend in Tucson?
I mean, he's not involved in the program. He's not involved in the scheme or anything. He can tell me how loud it's going to be and how many people are going to be there. But, as far as what's going to happen on the field, that's all being taken care of here,
You got to go back home a couple years ago and play at Arizona, but is it any different this time and what you think it'll feel like going out on the field now that you're the starter at left tackle versus that game a couple years ago?
Yeah, 100%. And I was talking to my dad about this last night. I think I'm going to remember it more than I'm going to know it while I'm there. Like once I get out on the field, I'm not even going to know where I am. I'm on a football field, I'm playing someone in a red or blue jersey, and that's all I know. But when I look back at it, I think I'm going to see, oh, wow, I played, at Arizona. That was pretty cool. My dad's name is up there. He went to the school. But as far as what's going on during the game, it's just like every other game for me.
And as soon as that game is over, an offensive lineman, Bruno Fina, joining us on the Bruin Insider Show, obviously looking at tape and getting you would say, everything, the response, the reaction from the coaching staff and what they think about what you did, and then ways to get better, looking at the film and breaking that down. And that is of highest importance. But then you get a chance to maybe reflect on a game by chatting with your dad. So obviously what's most important schematically and what the coaches are doing, what they're telling you watching the film comes first. But then maybe you get on the phone with your dad, and then what kind of conversation is he saying as far as evaluating you in terms of what he saw from you in a specific game and what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, I always like to talk to him after a game just to, kind of close it out, round it out in another way. And he's never evaluating, He's always my dad first, coach second, which I love. But if I ask him questions about technique and, what did you do when you were in this situation, he's happy to talk about it. But he's great about knowing what is a Drev question and what is a dad question. You know what I mean? So I always ask him, like, hey, did you see this play? Did you see when this happened? And that's just kind of more like talking to a friend than being evaluated by anybody, So, yeah, he's great about that, and I love closing out with him.
Feels like this offense, we've seen some really good things lately, but it feels like that full potential to find is still out there for you guys. You feel that way too?
Yeah, 100%. I think we've had a lot of good performances from a lot of different position groups, but I don't think we've had all those performances at the same time, and it's coming.
How close is that? It seems like it's right on the cusp.
Any time now, any day.
I got to tell you, we're excited to see this sort of homecoming, if you will, kind of, in Tucson. And as mentioned, a scary good offensive line continues to improve. And the show that we have here only improves by having you on.
Oh,
Bruno Fina, UCLA offensive lineman, on the Bruin Insider Show. For Nick Cope, I'm Brian Fenley. Thanks so much for allowing us to dive into your life and learn more about you, even outside the realm of football.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks for having me.